methods, and after that non-static initializers. We have discussed all of this, right? Yes, in our last
Yes.
class we discussed this only.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Constructor is there,
Anyone?
sir.
Yeah, constructor is left, right?
Yes, sir.
Fourth one,
And one
constructor.
more, the fourth one is the constructor. Now, anyone having any doubts in these three? First of all, yes.
No,
Any
sir.
doubts in non-static variables? What are non-static variables? How to declare them? How to call them? Where can we call it? Where can we use it? Yes. What to initialize? What not to initialize? All of that we have seen. Yes. If you are having any doubts, I'll take one example and I'll show if you tell. Yes, guys, tell.
Mhm.
We have already seen these non-static variables, non-static methods, and non-static initializers in our program, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. After that, I showed you the notes. In that only, I told you. Yeah. So we are done with these three things. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now, no one having no doubts. Then we will move forward for the fourth non-static member that we can have. That is the constructor. Okay. Now, I told you like in the definition of constructor, right? Like when we were discussing constructor at that time, I told you the definition. Do you remember? What was it? What do you understand by a constructor? What is it doing? I don't want that. I just want like what is a constructor like that? Did I
Special
tell
member
you?
of the class that like that, sir.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, that one. Yeah.
Whose name is same as the class name.
Class name and
Yeah,
constructor
yes.
name are
Same
same.
as the class name is same.
Okay.
Constructor is used to create an object.
Uh, then constructor is used to create an object. Okay. Anything else, guys? Can you give me anything
It
else?
is used to load all the non-static members.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That is its task. What a constructor is doing. Okay. Fine. No problem, guys. Very good. Okay. So first of all, when someone asks you like, what is a constructor? Then what should you tell? That first of all, you must remember that a constructor is a special type of non-static method. Okay. Yes. It is a
Yes, sir. It is special member.
special non-static
Static.
method.
It does not have any return type.
And just a second. Special non-static method. And yes, Prakash was telling yes. Yes, Prakash.
It does not have any return type.
Yes, very good. Okay, and a constructor will not have a return type. Yes, so only the key points I have written over here in the definition. This is not the actual definition. You have to make a definition using these words. So that's why I have written no return type. Okay. Yes. So what is a constructor? A constructor is a special type of non-static method which has no return type. That is the definition of a constructor, guys. Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
sir. Okay, sir.
Now, why am I telling that it is a special type of method and it is having no return type? Did I show you the syntax of how to create a constructor? Yes. Did we discuss any of that? No. We have not yet
No, sir.
added even a single constructor to our programs, right? Yes.
No, sir.
No, we have not yet added any constructor, but we know that yes, with the new keyword over here, we have written a constructor name
Yeah.
that is similar as the class name. Okay, so we know that, okay, this is a constructor. But did we add any constructor in our program? No, right?
No.
We have not added anywhere. No, over here, you cannot tell that by this the constructor name, by just by the name, we cannot tell that we have added the constructor. Okay, a constructor is also a member, like how I have added a method. Similarly, I'll have to add a constructor also. But do you think that we have added any constructor in these lines? Yes or no? Yes. Did we add any constructor? No, right? No, guys, we have
No,
not
sir.
added.
No, sir.
What you are thinking?
We haven't added, but we have just taken the constructor name as same as the class name only.
Huh.
That much only we
So
have done in a constructor.
yeah, that much only we have done. We have we have not taken the responsibility of adding a constructor in our program anywhere because we have some static initializers. Then we have a non-static multiline initializer. After that, we have a main method. After that, we have one static method and one non-static method. That's all we have in my program, right? But over here, what did we see? The non-static members of a class, there are 4 members. That is, one is non-static variable, non-static methods, and non-static initializer. And after that, there comes the constructor. But we have not added any constructor in our program. But still, I'm telling that yes, this is a constructor. This is the constructor name. That it will always be same as the class name, right? So now we are going to discuss that. Okay. For that, first of all, guys, I'll tell you what is the syntax of a constructor. Yes. Have you seen the syntax of a constructor? Did I show you?
No, sir.
No, not yet started. Okay.
No, sir.
So I hope I told you that we are not yet completed with the constructor part. It is a separate topic, so there we'll see. Yes, I told you.
Okay, sir.
Right? Yeah. Okay. So now, guys, we are going to see the syntax of the constructor. Now, in the definition only, that's why I have written that it is a special type of non-static method that will have no return type. It won't have any return type. So now if you remove the return type from the method, you remember the syntax of a method, right? Yes. Yes, guys, do you all
Yes, sir.
remember the syntax of a method? Can anyone tell me the syntax of a method? Yes.
Access modifier.
Okay. Access
Like that only,
modifier.
no, sir?
Yeah, that
Modifier.
Public
Modifier.
modifier.
What?
Return type.
And then some method name.
Then method name.
Formula.
After that, formula.
argument.
Okay, very good. So this was the syntax for my creation of a method. Yes. Now this is the syntax for a method. Now you just remember it from here only, guys. Okay, from the syntax of a method only, you can understand what is a constructor. How? The only thing that will be changed over here is that the return type won't be there. Only the return type won't be there in the case of a constructor. Okay, now if I remove this return type from the syntax of a method, it becomes what?
Constructor.
It becomes a constructor. Yes, that's all, guys. Okay, this is the syntax for a constructor. Okay. Yes. Now the only thing that is gone from here, what is that? Is the return type. That's all. Yes. Everyone understood syntax for constructor. What are the things that will be there in the constructor? To create a constructor. I'm talking about to create a constructor. This is how you should create a constructor. Okay. Now it will have access modifier, it will have the modifier, then only the return type is missing, but after that over here method name is there, right? But instead of this you can simply take the constructor name. Okay, you can just write it like this, the constructor name. Okay, now the constructor name will always be same as what?
Class name.
Class name.
Class name.
Class name.
So
Yes,
by
sir.
this can you get an
Constructor.
idea? Yes,
Constructor name.
constructor name, class name must be same. From CN, you should remember this like this. Okay,
Okay.
you should remember it. CN is class name, CN is constructor name.
Constructor
so both will
name.
be yes.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the only difference in the syntax, guys, for to create a constructor. Okay.
Okay,
Now, whatever I have written in the square braces, what is that? What are the terms that I have written in square braces? Is that mandatory? Is that necessary?
Optional, sir.
No.
Optional, sir.
Optional,
sir.
yes. So I'm just showing you in this way from the starting only, right? That whenever I'm using the square braces, it means that it becomes optional. It is not mandatory every time that we have to write. Okay. Yes. So in the case of method also, I've shown you like this only. So that's why in the constructor also I'm showing you in the same way, so that it helps you to remember. Okay. Yes. So this is the syntax of our constructor. Okay, no doubts.
Okay, sir. No, sir.
Now, like, what is this part? This is the constructor declaration. And what is this part? This will be the considered as what?
Block.
Block.
Constructor
Block
block.
for the constructor
Block.
or constructor body.
Constructor
Same thing.
block.
Same. Yes, same like whatever we have seen from the starting days. Same concept. We can just now apply the same things that we know. So this becomes a constructor declaration, and this becomes the constructor body. Okay. Now, now we'll see what are the things. Now, if a constructor is also having a body, then we will see what are the things that we can do, and what is the use of this formal arguments also in this constructor. Okay, all of that we are going to see. Yes. So now, guys, we will see what are the things that we can write inside the constructor body. Okay. Inside the constructor, whatever things we will be writing, I'll show you that. So the first point is that it will load the instructions added by the compiler. Okay. Load the instructions.
Execute initializer.
In the constructor body, this is the first statement. Now, what is that? That we can have statements or instructions that will be added by whom, guys? Those instructions will be added by the compiler during the compile time. Okay, there will be some lines present inside the constructor body which will help in doing what? It will help in loading the instructions. Okay, and that will be added by whom, guys? It will be added by the compiler during the compile time. Okay, guys, you just need to know this. Okay, I'm not telling you that this is all you must know. Okay, I'm just telling you these are the things we can write, but I'll show you how we are going to use the constructor also in our programs and all in real life situations also, when how you will be using them. Okay, but this constructor body thing, like don't stress yourselves on this. Okay, just this is some internal thing, like what and all keeps on happening inside because of the compiler, what it does. Because until now we have not seen the constructor what it was doing, so I'm just telling you what can be there inside the constructor body, what can be there. Okay, I'm not telling that every time it will be there inside the constructor body. Okay. Yes. Now the second thing that will be there is the non-static initializers of the class also will be there inside this. Okay. Non-static initializers of the class. And the third thing that will be present inside the constructor body is the most important thing. Okay, the most important thing that we need to know is the programmer return instructions. Okay, guys. So these are the three things that will be present inside the constructor body. Okay, the it will have the instructions which will be added by the compiler to load the non-static initializers. Okay, now the non-static initializers of the class will also be there inside the constructor body, and the most important thing that we must know is the programmer return instructions. Okay, this last one, guys. Okay, focus in this one. What do you understand by this programmer return instructions? Yes. Now, if there is a constructor body, don't you think that it can also have instructions that can be written by us? Yes. Now, whatever the compiler is adding, that and all is fine, guys. Okay. Based on our program, the compiler will keep on adding based on our programs, and the non-static initializers will get loaded and everything. But what about the third one? Yes, guys. This third one is the programmer return instructions. Now, if these are some instructions, these will be some statements only, right, which my program I want my program to do. Yes, guys, these will be some instructions which I want my program to do. So that's why these are the instructions that can be written inside the constructor body. Okay, now we have discussed the purpose of a constructor. Yes, now before some time, like someone was telling also the task of a constructor or the purpose of a constructor. Yes, what is the use of a constructor that we have seen till now? Yes,
will
guys.
load all the
To
It will load all the non-static multipliers, sir. Sorry, initializers, sir.
Okay. Multiplier.
Initializer.
Sorry.
Initializer.
Confused.
Where you are getting confused?
Non-static initializer.
Sir,
Multiplier is other thing. Initializer is another thing.
where I have read multiplier?
There is no use of multi. There, you said multiplier, non-static
multi-line,
multiplier.
you were saying multi-lines initializers.
Okay, fine. So the purpose of a constructor is that the first task of a constructor that we were seeing was what? What was the constructor doing in my program? Yes. Guys, we have discussed it, okay? Like
Loading
what I'm asking is, so over here I have written like this new, and along with that the constructor name.
Non-static,
When I
sir.
write like this, what
Into
happens,
the
guys?
object, not into the object. I will
Huh?
create so object is
load
created
object.
inside a heap area, sir.
A block is created inside the heap
Inside the
area,
heap area.
and now after that the constructor is getting called, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
Yes,
this constructor, which is having the same name as the class name, is getting called. Now, if it is getting called, it is doing something. So I'm asking that, what is it doing? Yes.
Sir, it is loading non-static member, sir, and executing
Yes.
non-static initializer.
Yes, that's all. Okay, it is loading the non-static members. Where is it loading?
Heap area,
The
sir.
Yes. Yeah, into the heap area, but where?
Loading type
Into
block.
yes,
Object.
into the object created.
Object
Yes, guys.
created.
Okay. Object created in the heap area.
Heap area.
Yes. Okay. This is the full statement. Okay. You should have that idea. Every time I won't be using this entire statement, but you must have this idea that this is the task that is being done actually. Okay. I hope you all know this. Everyone knows this, right? That
Yes,
the
sir.
constructor will load all the non-static members into the object created in the heap area. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the second task, it will execute
Execute the
execute
Non-
the
non-static initializer.
Top to bottom.
execute non-static initializers.
Initializer.
Now, in which order will it execute? Yes, guys.
From top to bottom.
Top to bottom. Yes, always. The initializers will execute always in top to bottom order.
To bottoms.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, there's one more task, the last task that needs to be done by the constructor. Now, I won't increase it, guys, okay? You guys might be
constructor
thinking
gets
that
executed.
what what
Again,
Prakash?
so here it is there. Sir.
Instruction of constructor gets executed.
Ah, okay. So the third task that needs to be done by the programmer and it will do always is that the programmer return instructions will be executed, guys. Okay. Now, just now we have seen, right? This can also be there inside the constructor body. Yes, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I'll show you how to create and how to write all of this, but for the time being, just remember it. Yes. The programmer return instructions
So other than we
will,
have this, other than
yes, other
we have
than
discussed,
these,
sir.
whatever till now we have seen the use of these 2 points, what is doing and what is happening. All of this we have seen. But now there is one more third point, okay? So we have not actually seen this point because we have till now we have not seen the constructor only in real life, right? We have not yet seen. We have just used the constructor name, but now we are going to start with the constructor, okay? So we will add our own custom constructors. You can do that also, okay? So for that,
What the third line means? Program's written instructions will be executed.
yeah, the third line means the programmer written instructions. Now, just now I told you, right, that if there is a constructor like this, if we are adding a constructor like this, so it will follow this particular syntax. It will be in particular syntax, and if I'm adding any instructions over here, yes,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
talking about these instructions. Okay. If there is a
Body.
constructor, then I can write some instructions in the constructor body. Yes. So these constructor, the programmer written instructions that have been written by the programmer inside the constructor body, these will get executed. And when will they get executed? This will always be the third task that is being done by the constructor, guys. Okay. So you must remember this sequence.
And
The first
if we
task
do
of
not
the
create any constructor, then what will be happen?
if we don't create any constructor, then
Yes.
like in this program, yes, in this program, did we create any constructor? No, we have not created. So if there is no constructor created by us, will there be any programmer written instructions inside that constructor? Yes.
There is a construct.
No, sir.
No, no.
No, right?
There is no
I
bracket,
think
sir.
default.
Open bracket and close bracket. So if the equal sign is there, then how we can give the bracket, sir?
Where?
So loading
Over here.
L1 is equal to new loading and their parenthesis, sir. After that we will put the oh no, sir. Okay, sir, understand.
Okay, Sasi.
I got it, sir.
Got it. What is this statement?
Object creation statement, sir.
Object creation statement. So in this line, what I'm doing is that I'm just creating object, and that is being done by whom? Only for creating an object. Only this new keyword is responsible.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Yes.
Yes.
Only this new keyword is responsible for creating an object. Now after new, what is there? I am calling the constructor. That's all. And when I'm calling the constructor, what will happen? Now constructor will start working. That's all. So in this program, guys, I have not added any constructor over here. I'm not, guys, this is just a constructor calling statement, okay? Like how we have seen method calling statement. Similarly,
But sir,
you
this
can
is
just-
not a constructor, na, sir. We can call it a constructor calling statement, na, sir.
Yes.
Okay, sir. So loading
Continue.
will be called as a constructor calling a statement, na, sir.
This only if you consider this loading, then
Yes.
it means that I am calling my constructor. That's all, nothing else, guys.
Okay,
And
sir.
that is how the constructor gets called, guys. Okay, this is one way. When I'm creating an object, at that time only, if I call the constructor, what will happen? My constructor will take the responsibility and it will load all the non-static members and everything will be done by the constructor only. That is only the work of the constructor. Now I have not added any constructor. Then what do you think? Am I having any constructor in this program or not? Yes.
No.
Yes, guys.
No, sir.
Am I having any constructor or not?
No, sir. A written statement is not there. How we can say that there is a constructor, sir?
Return statement is not there. Which?
That means, sir, yeah, programmer written instructions, sir. That is not there.
I don't have the constructor only, man. I don't have the constructor body only. See, what I'm trying to tell is that
Sir, we are
I have
having
not-
constructor, sir.
We are having constructor. Where is that?
Sir,
Show
that
me that.
loading, sir.
Loading is
Along
sir
with
is saying,
open and
This is
close.
just the name of the. I just now. I
sir is
showed
saying
you.
that the loading is the constructor calling a statement, sir.
If a constructor will be there, it will look in this form, guys.
Alright.
That is what it means.
Should have instructions, sir.
Syntax.
Sir, I
Yes,
thought
it is long.
that one is optional, no, sir. So I thought only that only present.
So everything is in optional. Or what I have done, I have written it like this. Huh?
No, sir.
This constructor is
Just
only
modifier and all optional, no, sir. So I thought only the constructor name only will be there in program. So like that.
Okay. So guys, I'm not having my constructor like this. I have not added the declaration part. After that constructor body, I have not added any constructor like this in my program, right?
Okay, sir.
I don't have it anywhere. I have. Do you see? Can you match
No, sir. No,
that
sir.
I have anything
No, sir,
matching
it
with that
is-
thing?
It is not.
It is
matching,
not
sir.
there, guys. It is not there. Don't try to look any further. It's not there. Yes. Okay. So now there is something that is being done by our compiler only, guys. Okay. Now, like how in this program I have not added a compiler, right? I have not added a compiler. So what my sorry, I have not added a constructor, right? Yes, guys, in my program I have not added any constructor in my program.
Yes,
So-
sir.
Yes, sir.
My compiler will do is that it will add a default constructor. Okay,
Okay, sir.
Default constructor.
it will add a default constructor.
So compiler will add the no.
Yeah, the compiler will add the default constructor, guys. Okay.
Okay, where it will add, sir?
During the compile time, it will add. It is in my program. We cannot see in our program, but it will be
Physically
there
it
in
is
our
not there.
bytecode. Once it is getting compiled, after that we'll get the bytecode, but our constructor will be there in our bytecode. It is not there in our program. Okay. Right now, what we are seeing that is understandable by us, it is not there. But once we compile this entire program, the compiler will take the responsibility and add the constructor in our program. Okay. And that will only happen only in a case if we fail to add a constructor. Then only our compiler will add the default constructor. Okay. But if we add a constructor by ourselves, then our compiler won't add any constructor. Okay.
But why it is compulsory to add the constructor?
To create an object. Yes.
But that means, sir, in every program the constructor is generated. Default constructor.
Yes, guys.
That means if we write
without
the only
constructors used, how will you
that
create
means-
the
okay,
object
sir.
and how will who will be loading your non-static members? That is only the work of the constructor, guys. Okay, it will load the non-static
Yes.
members. It will execute
But-
the non-static
So
initializers.
suppose that, sir, we only print the hello world through writing the public static void main and SOPLN. Then in that case also the constructor will be generated.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
In that case, also the constructor will be added.
So, but now we are having the constructor, na loading.
Where are we having? Yes,
Yes,
yes. We have
Yeah,
not
we are
added.
having.
We have not added any constructor, but now only I told you, right? A constructor is being added in our program who is doing all the loading of the non-static members and who is responsible for executing these non-static initializers.
Initializers.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All of this is working perfectly fine. Then who is doing that?
Constructor.
Constructor. I
So
told you in
if
the
we are
beginning.
removing the constructor loading, so in that case, the compiler will add the constructor, default constructor. If we
How?
are removing this,
See, now if you are telling that I'm not writing the constructor name only,
No, how
then
it
which
is possible,
constructor will
sir?
it call? Yes, without any name, how is it possible?
No, sir.
This
so
was only
how?
the
True.
program, I guess. Java pen. Yes, no, just a second, guys. Oh, loading. Okay, the program name is loading. So Java C loading dot Java. Yes,
File not found, sir.
weekdays 7 to 9 batch. Where is this file? Was it file? Oh, weekend 7 to 9. Just a second. Weekend.
So it is correct folder, sir. Weekdays. We are weekdays, sir.
Huh. Hey, no man. It is not there.
Sir, you are doing right only, sir. We have to go to
Ah,
now. Yes, sir.
Which
Weekend,
circle one, huh?
6 to 8
because the
was there.
loading will be in.
Not there. It's
Sir, here
weekend
open
6 to 8.
CMD
Ah, I do that.
commands
We have
prompt.
MD, sir.
Yes, guys. So
Now loading,
Java
sir.
CD loading dot Java. Okay.
Yes, sir. It comes.
Yes, it is giving me how many errors?
Two errors, sir.
Parenthesis is needed, sir.
Two errors it is
One
giving,
is
right?
semicolon and one is
Huh. One
Identifier
is
expected.
semicolon. Okay. And one more it is asking identifier, right?
Identifier.
It is telling identifier expected at this place.
Identifiers.
Now, what is identifier, guys? I hope you all remember. What is identifier?
identifier.
The names that we are giving to the Java components.
Oh,
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So this class name is identifier. This variable name is
Yes, sir.
identifier.
yes,
Any
sir.
Identifier.
Yes,
name that
sir.
is being
All
given
right.
by us. Yes. Okay. Don't keep
Yes, sir.
forgetting like this, man. Oh, okay. So now, guys, so I showed you the difference, right? Like what is happening if I remove this constructor from here. If I give some other name also, like I have a pen program, right? If I write it like this, new of pen, will it work? Yes. Now,
Constructor should be of same name, sir. Not
constructor should be of same
Should be
type
of same class name.
class
and
name.
it should be with the same class name. Yes. Now,
Yes,
what it
sir.
is telling?
Pen
Incompatible
cannot
type.
be
Pen cannot be
converted to the
converted to
loading.
loading type. Yes. Now, what is happening? It is creating an object of pen type, and now it is trying to store that reference into loading type. Is that
Loading
possible?
type.
No,
No, sir.
that is not possible. The type should be same, guys. Okay.
Same.
Yes. So now, if I execute this program, what will happen? We'll get now everything is fine. It is compiled and successful. Now we are getting this output for this entire program. Now over here, what were the three purposes of a constructor, guys? Can anyone tell? Yes, can you all tell?
Sir, it will load all the non-static members, sir.
Okay.
It will
Second task,
execute the
Execute
initializer, sir.
initializers.
execute the non-static initializers.
Yes,
Yes,
sir. Yes,
Non-static in from top to bottom.
yes. Then the third task,
Programmer
programmer
return.
returns instructions will be executed, sir.
Executed.
programmer written instructions will be executed. Okay. So now programmer return instructions will only be there if I am adding a constructor in my program, right? Over here, I have not added any constructor. Okay. So what my compiler is doing is that it is checking during the compile time that there is no constructor. So what it will do, it will add a default constructor. Now the default constructor will be with what name? The name of that default constructor will be with what name? Yes, guys.
Loading, sir.
Loading. Yes, guys. Okay. The class name will always be same as the constructor name. The constructor names and the class name will always be same. Okay. You remember that. If the default constructor is also being added, it will be with the same name only. If you are also adding a constructor, then it should have what name? If now I want to add a constructor, then what should I do? What are the things that I should write?
Just modifier.
We can write it, sir, by
Modifier,
sys.
then the
Yes.
constructor name, then the
So we
formal
can
arguments,
simply
and
write loading and then
Constructor
parenthesis and
name
then
and
brackets, sir.
okay. Yes,
So that
guys.
is
So
not
all
mandatory,
of
na?
that was mandatory. Yeah, it wasn't mandatory, right? Over here, this access modifier, and the formal arguments is not mandatory. So, like now, I can
So
create my
formal
own.
argument is also not mandatory.
That's
Okay,
why I
sir.
have
The
written it in
parenthesis.
square braces.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes. So everything which is in square braces is not mandatory. Now, if you want to add a constructor in my this loading program, what will I do? I'll just add the mandatory part. So it will have a
loading,
name
Loading and
same as the
parenthesis
class name.
open and close bracket.
and
Uh,
brackets as
then
well.
after that, it will
Curly
have a
bracket.
body. That's all. This is my constructor, guys. I have added a constructor in my program.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
if I write, if you want your constructor to do anything, you can just add a print statement just for checking. Okay, what is it doing, whether it is getting executed or not. So what I'll do is that from loading. This is only the constructor, right?
Yes, sir.
Looks like a confusion part, sir.
I'll give the name like this also, or many might
Loading
think that
and
it is
then
a method. Okay, yeah. Yes, guys. So it is done. Now I'll see whether my program is executing perfectly fine or not, whether I'm getting the same output that I was getting or not. Yes, so now it is compiled and successful. Yes, now just compare, guys. Okay, what output I was getting in my program when I didn't add any compiler by my own. What output I was getting, and now after adding this loading constructor in my
Constructor.
program, what output I'm getting. Okay, just check that. See, so single, what is that?
it is
Static
executing.
multi-line initializer got executed. Yes, static multi-line initializer got
Static
executed.
multi.
After that, main method got executed. Main method got started. Then M1 method started executing. M1 method started executing. So after that, this non-static multi-line initializer executed. When will this execute?
So after the
Only
Sir,
when,
formation of
when we
object
create
creation, sir.
object creation statement, sir.
yes,
Object creation,
only
sir.
after the creation of an object. So once we are creating an object, at that time only the constructor is getting called and it is doing all the non-static work,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So
Yes,
it has
sir.
Okay.
loaded the non-static in all the non-static members. Then it has executed the non-static initializers. So that's why I'm getting this non-static multi-line initializers output. Then
Yes, sir.
Yes,
just
sir.
after that, I'm getting the programmer return instructions got executed. Yes.
Yes,
After
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
executing the non-static initializers, the programmer return
Non-static
instructions
member.
will execute, and just after that only I'm getting this output right from loading, that is the constructor. Yes, I got it.
Yes, sir.
Now is that clear when this programmer return instruction is going to execute? Yes, guys.
Clear, sir.
Yes.
Clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Now the rest all of this is same only. From M1 is getting called, from M2 is getting called, from M1 from M2 both got called,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Yes. So
Sir, if
that
we
is
remove the
huh.
okay, sir. If we
What
remove
if you
this,
remove?
if you remove this loading L1 is equal to new loading parenthesis close,
Huh.
that means we are object creation. We remove that
Huh.
statement completely, sir. Is that then after is the program will be executed, sir? In that case, sir,
So
loading
the thing is that it will give me
will
some
not
compile time error, but
okay, sir.
I have to remove these also. Okay, so I'll remove these three statements. Okay, Control X.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Now I'll see what is happening. Yes, it is compiled and successful. Now, yes, if I remove the object creation statement, then this is the output that I will get. Now, what do you understand from this?
Only the
That
static things
Sir,
only will be
static
called,
part
sir.
only
is
the
executing,
static
sir.
things executed, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
only the static members got executed. But what about the non-static ones? They didn't get
They're not there,
executed
sir.
because the object creation does not exist. So if the object creation is not there, the non-static members didn't get loaded. The
Sir, but
non-static
we have
members,
made a constructor there, sir. Loading is the constructor. We have made it there, sir.
yeah, the constructor is there, but who
But
is
sir,
calling the constructor?
Object
Who
creation
is
statement.
object
creating the
creations.
object? We
Yes.
have not created only the object. If
Okay,
you
sir.
don't create the object, the non-static members won't get loaded into the object created only. Okay, so if anything is not loaded, then how do you expect it to execute? Okay. Yes.
Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
Huh. Now what should I do in this program? I'll add all of that. What I have done over here is that I've just created an object of loading type, and with the help of that reference, object reference, I'm accessing those non-static methods. That's all. Yes. Guys, this was a very basic example for a constructor. Okay, now we are going to see what are the types of constructor that are there. Okay, I have not yet started with the types of constructor and all of that. I just showed you that this is one example to add a constructor in your program. Okay, and now
Constructor
over here I
program.
have added a custom constructor. Okay, I have taken the responsibility and I have added a constructor in my program. So now do you think that the compiler during the compile time will add one more constructor? Do you think the default constructor will be added or not in this program?
Sir, we have added a constructor, no, sir.
Is already present,
Yeah,
sir.
Why it will add a default,
already
sir?
present. Okay, yes. So guys, our compiler will only add a default constructor if we have failed to add our constructor. Okay, if we have failed to add a constructor, only at that time the compiler will add a default constructor. But if we have
Yes.
added a constructor, then our compiler won't add. Okay, yes, keep
Yes,
that
sir.
in mind, sir, always. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. We have seen the syntax for the constructor, we have seen the constructor body, and we have seen the purposes of the constructor also, right?
Yes, sir.
Construction body, I did not understand.
What constructor body you didn't get? Okay, so I told you now that in constructor body, what are the things that are going to be written? That is only there. Okay, and inside that also, what is happening is that the compiler will only add the instructions which needs to be. What are the like I told you, right, that the constructor is taking the responsibility of loading the non-static all the non-static members.
Okay.
Then
Okay,
after
got
that,
it.
it will execute the non-static initializers. So
Yes.
for that, the constructor needs to be informed about that, right? So the information of all those loading process and the non-static initializers working, these 2 points, it is done by it is done implicitly, guys. Okay, my compiler is only adding the some instructions with the help of which the constructor is loading the non-static members into the object, and the non-static initializers will execute of the class. Okay, so because of these two statements that are being added by the compiler, so don't worry about these, but just remember that these are the things that will be present inside the constructor body. Okay, and the most important thing that we must know is the programmer return instructions. Okay, because these are the things that we are going to add inside the constructor body. And what is about these 2 points, these 2 points, all of this is done by the compiler only. Okay, like it will add the instructions for the compiler, like for the constructor to understand. Now once the compiler adds these instructions, the constructor will understand, okay, now my compiler has told me to load the non-static members into the object. First it will go and load the members because of this instruction. Then what is the second instruction is that instructions will be there, like execute the non-static initializer. So then again the constructor will come and execute the non-static initializers. So these two lines are responsible for it to perform the first 2 tasks, guys. Okay, these first 2 tasks are done now. So to do these tasks, some instructions will be written inside the constructor body, that will be added by the compiler only. Okay, so you guys know, should not worry. Okay, so you just remember that, okay, something like this is there, some instruction is given to the constructor, but it is given by the compiler only. Okay, it is, all of this is happening internally. But the third one, that is the programmer written instructions. So who is responsible for adding these programmer written instructions? This will be added by the programmer itself. So we should be cautious about these. Okay, yes guys,
Yes,
anyone having any doubts? Yes.
No, sir.
No? Okay. Suhir, yes? Any doubts?
No doubt, sir.
So what I understood till now, that and the constructor is used to call the non-static, to execute the non-static.
Okay. So earlier, before telling you
It is
the
used to
entire
create object.
that is being done by the constructor, before that I just now gave you a definition, right, for the constructor, that yes, if anyone asks you what is a constructor, then what should you tell is that a constructor is a special type of a non-static method without any return type. After that, after this definition, you should be able to give them the syntax. You must be remembering the syntax of the constructor. Then you must tell the syntax of the constructor, and after that what is being done by the constructor. Okay, so these are the 3 things. Then if anyone is asking you what is a constructor, you must tell this definition. Then after that, the purpose of the constructor. Yes, the purpose of the constructor, we saw
Yes,
those
sir.
3 points now only, right? The purpose of the constructor, and after that the syntax, guys. Okay, if anyone asks you what is a constructor, then you must give all of this. This is the first one, the definition, then after that the purpose, and after that the syntax. Okay, so according to the definition, a constructor is a special type of non-static method which has no
Without-
return.
Return names.
No
So we
return.
can add constructor anywhere in our program under the class.
Yes, you can add anywhere. Just the thing is that because it is a non-static member of our class, so it should be inside the class. That's all. Okay.
Sir, one class, that means sir, one class should have only one constructor name, na sir?
It's not like should. Okay. It's nothing like should, but yes, at least one constructor is good, because so that you can create an object for that and all. Okay, but it is not like it must have only one constructor. Okay. Yes.
Okay, sir.
Yes, like in our further classes, we'll see more about the constructor, guys. Okay, don't worry. Now we are going to start with the types of a constructor, guys. Okay. Yes, no doubt still here.
No doubt, sir.
So now we'll start with the types of constructor, guys. So guys, there are 2 types of constructors. Okay. That is no argument constructor and a parameterized constructor. Yes, like how we have seen in methods also, right? What were the types of methods? Yes, guys.
Static method, non-static method.
Yeah, static method and non-static method is followed based on their behavior. But when we are discussing
Parameterized, non-parameterized.
yeah, the types of
Oh,
methods
that
we
is
have,
sir. Okay, sir. That is
it's
parameter.
parameterized and non-parameterized. Yes,
Zero parameterized or
based on the formal arguments. Yes. Very good.
So constructor is of two types, guys. Okay, that is, first one is same like how we had no argument method. Similarly, we have no argument constructor. And the second one that is there is parameterized constructor. Yes. So guys, these are the two types. Okay. Now you guys might be thinking like, then if there are only two types, then what was that default constructor? Yes.
That was
Yes.
a no constructor. No.
Okay, so yes. So in my program, I have not added any type of constructor. Like, yes, now I have one, but if I remove this constructor, what will you think? That okay, that I don't have any constructor in my program, so my compiler will add any constructor. Yes. Now, what do you think, guys? Your constructor, your compiler will add which type of constructor in this program?
Default, sir.
Default, sir.
Default. Okay. So yes, guys, my constructor will add a default constructor into my program. Okay. Now, default constructor is also a type of no argument constructor only, okay, because it is having no formal argument, so it can be considered a type of no argument constructor only. Okay, we cannot tell that the no argument constructor is only the default constructor. We cannot tell it like that. Okay, but we can tell that default constructor is a type of no argument constructor. Okay, now by the name only, guys, I hope you all might be remembering, or you might be familiar. What is a no argument constructor? Yes.
Inside the brackets, there is no
So there is
parameters.
nothing, sir.
There is nothing.
Inside the
There
brackets,
is
sir.
nothing.
Parenthesis, sir.
It is blank. It is blank, sir.
Okay, yes, it is blank.
So just like we have seen in the addition process.
Yeah, in the case of methods we were seeing, right?
Yes, calculator program.
Yes, guys. So over here, if I write it like this, loading, then, and if I just create it like this becomes a no argument constructor. Why? Because there is no formal arguments over here, and as it is not mandatory, so I have not added. According to my need, I'll be designing the program. Okay. So if I have not added any program formal arguments in my constructor, then it becomes a no argument constructor. And if I want to add any formal arguments to your constructor, then it becomes a parameterized constructor. That's all. Okay. Now, whatever formal arguments over here, if I take it like this, int of a, yes, it becomes a formal arguments. This int of a, what is this? Int of a. Yes, guys.
Formal argument, sir.
Yeah, it is formal arguments. But what is that int of a? Why have I written this int of a in the place of formal arguments? What is the use of that?
Initializers, sir.
Initializer, sir. Initializer.
Return data.
Okay,
So we will
Sir, what is your
initialize
question, sir?
the variable name a is integer type, sir. Oh, sorry, integer type.
There is a variable I have created by the name int of a. What is the use? What can be the use? I'm just asking you, what is the use of formal arguments? Don't get confused that I'm asking about constructor. I'm just asking you, what is formal arguments? What is formal arguments, guys? I used to write it in square braces. What is that?
So formal argument are used to just like
It's a variable, sir.
calculator program, like
Ah.
int a and int b. Sir, it helps us to
Sir,
make the return
sir,
type.
it
Sir.
acts like a local variable, sir.
So it able to
Okay.
transfer into the program like addition in that, sir.
Ah, okay. Yes, guys. So some lines you all are telling. Okay, and
Forgot, sir, what is
if I
exactly
join
used
your
in that, sir.
answers, then I might get a
That, sir.
incomplete answer. Yes. Okay. Yes, guys. So what is this? This int of a? This is a formal argument. As I have added this during the declaration part. In the declaration part, if I am creating any variable, then it becomes a formal argument. Okay. Now this formal argument is local only to this block. Okay.
Yes, sir.
The variable that I'll be creating in the place of formal arguments, it becomes a local variable. It acts like a local variable only for this block. Okay. Now, what is the use? Yes, over here I have declared a variable. So when this, whenever this method or this constructor comes into play, whenever the declaration of the constructor comes, then what will happen? A variable will also be declared where inside this particular block, for this block only. Now this, if I have a formal argument that is int of a, if I have declared it, then in the actual argument, what should be there? Then I should have an actual argument also, right? Yes. Now, what do you understand by actual arguments? Yes, yes. Someone was telling
Value will be
value.
there as an argument.
Yes. So, if formal arguments is creating a variable, then actual arguments is what? It is the value, exact value that I am going to store inside that variable. That's all. Okay. Now, when do you use this actual value or actual argument? During method call or constructor call. Okay. Yes, guys, you all are forgetting things. Huh? I'll have to start taking mock for you guys. Yes. Now we'll be starting with some tests, guys. Okay. I can see you people are not revising these small things and you all are forgetting. Only one girl, Harsha, came and answered it. That's all. What is actual arguments, man? Actual arguments is
That is
the
exact value, sir. That is
what is
stored
the
in the
actual
variable.
value that we will pass during the method call or the constructor call. Okay, I'm not asking you only for the constructor, but same we have seen for methods also, right? Regarding to that idea, you can tell, right? Like in the method call, we will use the actual arguments. You
So
all
in method
remember it,
call,
right?
yes, sir.
Sir,
Yes.
remember, sir.
Uh, I can see how much you remember.
Sir, I muted and I answered, sir.
Oh, very nice.
That only I thought Rizwan is not answering.
Oh, very talented.
Prakash ji.
G.
Enough. Okay.
So in the case of method, there is also okay, sir. Two type method, like there is a parenthesis is there, sir. There is a nothing is inside there, sir.
Where there is nothing.
So like in pen method, sir, there is a to write, like nanostatic method, sir. To draw, sir. No.
Okay.
There is also a vacant.
So in those
no
programs we
argument
have
is there.
not used no. Yes. So in these we were not going to use these formal arguments. So I have not created any formal arguments.
Yes, sir.
Yes. But in the calculator program we used it, I guess.
Used it, sir.
We used it, right? Guys, just a second. I'll bring my charger, okay? Just a minute, guys. Give me a constructor. Similarly, this is only known as zero argument constructor or zero parameterized constructor, okay? Yes. Those are some different names, guys, okay? But stick with no argument constructor and parameterized constructor, okay? Yes. Now, to see an example, we'll see an example for parameterized constructor also, guys, okay? Now, the difference in the syntax, guys, yes. What will be the difference in the syntax? Yes, will there be any difference?
The only difference is that in no arguments there is
Formal
no
arguments,
Nothing is there,
arguments,
sir.
and in parameterized
Is
constructor
argument is
there is
there.
formal arguments. That's all. Only this
Yes,
will be the
sir.
difference between. Yes. Okay. So same syntax for all the constructors. Now, a constructor which does not have a formal arguments becomes a no argument constructor, and if a constructor uh, which has a formal argument becomes a parameterized constructor. Okay, that's all
And if the
about
constructor
the
is not
definition
present in
part.
the
Now,
program, then it will be in.
then yes, then
If the constructor is not present in the program, then the compiler will take the default constructor. So that we will consider as the no argument constructor, no?
yes, that will be considered as a no argument constructor. Okay. Yes.
Okay, sir.
Now we'll see an example. So for no argument constructor we have seen. Okay, now we'll see an example for parameterized constructor, guys. Okay. So for that, what I will do is that I will, guys, I'll make some changes before using a parameterized constructor. The initialization part. Okay. Yes.
Okay,
You
sir.
understood what I did, right? I have removed the static and the initialization part. So what
Initializer.
now I have only a
Non-static.
Non-static.
Yes.
Non-static.
Very-
No
Non-static
initialization.
variable.
Yes.
No
okay.
initialization.
Now what next? What next? What next? Okay. So in the constructor, what I should do is that my constructor is only loading this non-static variable. So now I don't have any non-static initializer which is initializing this, right? I don't have it. The initialization part for this non-static variable is not there. So will it be initialized with any value? No, it won't be initialized. So if I try to print it, then what output I'll get?
Default value, sir.
Default value. Okay. See what
But
I'm
default value is 0, sir.
default value is 0. Okay. So see, just yeah, like this I have done, and I'm just printing. It is a non-static value, so I should how to access
L1.
that, guys?
L1
L1
dot
dot
A.
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 Yes. Now I should get the value.
Yes.
Yes, we'll see where we are getting that value. Yes, so we are getting it at the last,
Yes,
and
sir.
we are getting the value as 0.
Default
So
value.
it has not been initialized, so I'm not getting any value. Default value only I'm getting. Now, how to use the constructor? What are the things that we can do with the constructor? Okay.
1 minute, sir. If sir,
1
if
minute.
if the program is giving me the output as default value as 0, sir. Suppose that, sir, if this value is multiplied with some big number or something like that, sir, then the output of that program becomes 0. So, sir, here we can say that it is a fault of the program.
It is a fault of the program. Yes. What? Can you repeat? How
I
are you
was
telling
telling,
that?
sir. I was
Ah.
telling, sir, that suppose that someone write this program, and we have printed the SOPLN L1.A, sir, and it give the default value as 0. And if someone take this value and multiply with some big number, which is used in the program in the some like business logic, then the
Yes.
output will become 0, sir.
Yes, obviously.
So then, sir, we can say that if such type of the error will be there, then it is a big fault, sir. Na?
Yes. So it is not any error, guys. Okay. It is the programmer's mistake that the programmer has not initialized and he's keeping on multiplying that value with 0. That's all. Yes. Okay, that's all. So, but it is of no use if you are creating a program to multiply these two numbers, and is that possible that you won't initialize the first value only and you will keep on multiplying? It's not possible, no.
No, sir.
No. So that
Okay, sir.
is just waste of time, right? Yes. So we'll see, guys, what I was trying to tell. So what I've done is that this is a non-static variable and I have not initialized it. So now I'll take the help of my constructor to initialize it. For that, what I'll do, I will create a variable over here. Okay, int of a by the same name. Yes, I've created this variable by the same name. Now, what to do?
A equal to 20 or 10.
A equal to 20 or 10. So if I write it like this, a equal to 10 or 20, what will happen?
So we will
A is loaded with 20, sir.
20, sir. Huh?
Yes, that's my question, guys. Which A is loaded by 20? Yes, so just a second. I'll save it and I'll run this program. Now, according to you guys, I have loaded it and 20 is stored and I should get the value as 20. Yes, what is it telling? Yes, what is the error that I'm getting, guys?
no argument.
Differ in length.
Differ in length. What differs in length?
Actual and formal
Actual
arguments
and
differ in
formal
length.
arguments differ in length. Yes. Why am I getting that error? We have seen this error some days before when we were discussing methods. Can anyone
Methods.
tell what was the reason for this error? I told you at that time.
Methods.
Yes, sir, you have said that.
Non-static. If you are accessing.
No. Just focus here, guys. What are the things that are written over here? What is it telling? Learn to read your error and correct yourself from there.
So we have to initialize their int a equal
Yes.
to 20, sir.
Where?
Again in
No.
the.
Sir, here only A equal to 20, sir, not int A equal to 20, sir.
Sir,
I have
you
not
said
written
that.
int a equal to 20. Now I have only written a equal to 20. But what is the error that I'm getting?
Right.
Reason. What is it telling? Required
Argument.
int. Found no argument.
So we have to write
Reason.
int a equal
Actual
to
and
20.
formal arguments differ in length. Actual and formal arguments differ in
Oh,
length.
that
Now you guys
misunderstand,
tell
sir.
me, where is the formal argument?
formal
First of all,
argument
where
is
is the
the-
formal argument?
So in the near of loading, so that is int a.
This is the
Formal.
formal arguments.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That one
Yes,
formal,
sir.
sir.
And actual
Now
argument
where is
has no
the
ints.
actual argument, guys?
So that is inside the block, sir.
That is inside the
Int.
block.
Main method.
When sir.
Sir, no. Sir,
Where if
there
there is
no-
a formal arguments, then where should you
So
pass
that
the
is
value for that?
Main
In
Sir,
method.
value should be
we have,
passed.
we have to use method call
Yes, value
statement
should
here.
be passed
Method
with the
Value
help
should
of
be passed. Yes.
with the help of actual arguments. Yes. So we
Actual
should pass
arguments,
the value
yes.
with the
But
help
that
of
is local
actual
value, na?
arguments. This I am just, what is this? This is acting like a local variable. So I have just, what I have done, I have initialized my
Initialized
local
it.
variable for this block. That's all.
Yes,
It is
sir.
not, this 20 is not getting out and it is not getting initialized for this local non-static variable.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
getting
Yes,
my
sir.
point.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir,
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Okay, so for that we should do some changes, but now over here we are getting one error because it is telling that actual arguments and formal arguments differ in length. Now over here I have the formal arguments, but where should I have the actual arguments?
Main
What
method,
is
sir.
this? This is the constructor, right?
Main
Yes, sir.
method, sir.
This is the declaration part. In the declaration part, I will always have the formal arguments. And where do I have
Main
the
method.
actual arguments?
Main method.
That I
Call.
know, guys. Inside main method, I want the specific line.
Constructor, sir. Inside
Calling.
that.
Method
Calling.
calls.
Yes,
Calling.
Calling. Yes. Method calls statement.
calling, guys.
Method call
Calling.
statement.
Like how in the method call statement we were
Method call
writing the
statement.
actual arguments. Similarly, where are we calling the constructor? In this line only, in the object creation statement
Yes,
only,
yes,
we are
sir.
calling the constructor, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
over
Yes,
here
sir.
only we should pass the value for which variable, for that
A.
formal argument.
Int A.
Yes.
Int
So
A
what
equal
should I pass over
Int
here?
A.
Again,
20,
int of
sir.
a.
20,
Int
sir.
A.
Any.
Int is
Just
20.
just
Yes,
20, sir.
only the value. I should pass only the value,
Actual
guys.
values only passed, sir.
okay.
Now I am passing the actual value, and this a is getting initialized by 20. Now what should happen? Now after that, when I am printing, because of this line, I am printing the value of a. What should I
Non-static
get?
part will non-static part is loaded, sir. So
Sir, I
Yes.
think 20
What should I
will come,
get?
sir.
20, sir.
20
20
will
will
come, sir.
come.
20 will be the
Yes,
output,
sir.
sir.
Everyone, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
What
sir.
am I getting?
Why?
Sir,
Default value.
What happened over here? Why am I
default
getting zero
value.
again?
Default value, sir.
Why am I getting default value after
The
what?
SOP 11.
What? Hmm.
No,
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
yes,
the
yes.
TA equal to 20 line.
So we
Hello.
write in int a equal to 20. Then it will happen.
No, sir.
Okay, if I write int a equal to 20, then it will give compile error.
Yeah.
No,
It will
it's
give
local
error.
No
variable.
difference,
Sir,
sir.
Non
same only,
This is
sir.
also a local variable.
We
This
no
is
need to
also a
initialize
local
Give
2
error,
times,
variable.
sir.
sir.
We no
No,
need to
sir.
initialize 2 times, sir.
Yes, sir. Remove it.
I think something error, sir.
Something error.
Now
A
it will
can
come.
yes, sir. That A method.
What is happening guys? Tell.
Sir, use this keyword, sir.
Huh?
This is new thingy. Is the
Yeah, this is
Sir,
something
maybe
new,
in
guys.
new
Okay?
loading class itself, int A equal to 20
In the loading.
in main method. New
Uh,
loading. Int A equal to 20.
int
If
a
we
equal to
pass.
20.
No.
Just int A, sir.
In this main method you are telling.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll do whatever you guys tell. Okay, see now you all tell. I've saved it. Now I'll compile it again.
It's a local variable, sir. And we are accessing. That is
Yes.
nobody can able to answer, sir. No, sir. You can.
Very good, Harsha. Very good. Yes. Yes. It is a local variable. Only she is the one who applied whatever she has studied. What you guys are doing, huh?
Sir, dish.a.
This is not required here.
Yes. I hope Harsha only told the answer. Yes. Oh. Sudha also
I
gave the
didn't
answer.
study that much, sir.
Yes, yes. But still.
But still,
Very good. See, man.
thank you,
Hey,
sir.
where is that Rizwan, huh? Always he keeps asking doubts. Yes. What happened, man?
Sir, nothing, sir.
No one was
Saying
able
local
to
variable,
answer.
sir.
Yes, guys, it is a local variable. This int of a was a local variable. So if I'm writing it like this, what is happening? It is going and initializing this variable only. But I have not written any print statement for this local variable. So it is not printing. But over here, when I'm printing, which variable am I printing? Am I printing this variable or this non-static one that is present in my class? Yes, I'm printing this one.
Okay,
Who
sir.
is initializing that one? Nobody. Yes, because I have not initialized it in the creation statement only. So I can do it with the help of constructor also, guys. Okay. I can do it with the help of constructor also. Now I'll show you the use, guys. How am I going to do that? So I'll remove this from here. This dot A is equals to A. This is where we are going to see the use of this call. Okay, this
यही तो
keyword.
बोला था मैं भी
So
कौन
this
बोला
part,
था?
मैं बोल रहा था
but sir,
बोला
this
था
is
क्या?
new thing for us, sir.
हाँ.
We don't know about it.
प्रकाश बोला था ये. Guys, you all heard.
Sir,
Prakash said
we
this
don't know
answer.
about this keyword, sir. I don't know about this keyword.
नहीं
Hey,
बोला था
Prakash.
सर.
ए कौन दिस डॉट ए मैं बोल रहा था कोई ध्यान से सुना ही नहीं
अच्छा है 2-3 बार बोलना था ना. शर्माता क्यों है तुम?
Sir, we should see this recorded video, sir.
Actually,
Yes,
sir,
guys,
we have
okay.
never studied this one, this keyword, sir.
Yes, guys, this is a new thing, guys. We have not yet started.
So what is this dot A?
This is a keyword. Okay, this is a keyword. Like how I'm accessing the non-static variable with the help of object reference, right? Li. With the help of object reference, I'm accessing a variable. Which is getting accessed? This local one or the outside one?
Outside one, sir.
Outside one, because I'm
Yes, sir.
accessing it with the help of an object reference. So similarly, guys, on the left hand side, what is this? This is a keyword which holds a object reference. Okay, this keyword holds the object reference of a currently created object. Okay, this keyword is also like a non-static variable, like how we have created this non-static variable, like how we have created this non-static variable. Similarly, this a becomes a non-static variable only. How am I telling that? I'm not declaring or anything. What I'm doing over here is that the left side indicates the non-static variable. How is it? Am I telling that it has the non-static variable? And this right side becomes the local one, because in the local one I can access the local variable directly by its name. Yes, everyone knows this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Directly by its name, if I am accessing, what will get printed? The local one.
Local variable.
Yes. But over here on the left side, this dot A is helping me differentiate these two variables which are having the same name, A and A, right? Both the variables are having the same name. So how to differentiate between the non-static one and the local one is that the one with the this keyword becomes the non-static variable which is stored inside my object created. Okay, and the one which I am directly calling it by its name becomes the local one. Yes, because we have seen the characteristics, right? How do you call a non-static variable? With the help of object reference. Yes, with the help of
Yes,
object
sir.
reference only you access a
Yes,
non-static
sir.
variable, right?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
over
sir.
here on the left side, just consider that I am accessing the non-static variable with the help of this keyword. This keyword is holding the currently created object reference. Okay, whatever is there inside this li, na, that the same object reference is there inside this keyword also. The same thing, guys. Okay, whichever object you create, the latest one, it holds the latest one's object created reference. Okay, it holds the reference of the latest object created. Yes, yes, guys.
Yes, sir.
I know you all are not understanding, but what I am telling, just remember this much. Then I'll add some more points. Okay, because if I tell you now only, it will become too much hodgepodge. Okay, just
So the
consider
variable,
what.
okay, sir.
From starting of this.
Yes, guys.
Please,
Yes, from the starting of
please
this.
please
Now,
take a
first
normal
of all-
example with a different variable name.
Please.
Sir,
This
the
is the
How to
that
execute
is,
this all programs? Execution of program.
Yes,
so the variable that is written
I'll
after
show.
this,
I'll
that
execute and
means
show.
after
Sir,
dot, sir.
what will happen if it is like different variable, sir? We have to use this keyword.
No, no,
Then we
sir.
don't have to use this keyword. That's why I
Ah.
have taken this example.
where
minute, sir.
both the
This
variables are having the same name. Okay, like how we were seeing the example of a local variable and a static variable. Over there also we took the example for two same name variables,
Same name,
right?
yes sir, yes
How
sir.
to differentiate them, how to access them, how to call them. If I'm directly calling it by its name, which one was getting called? The local one was getting called. But if you want to access the global one, that is the static one or the non-static one, for both now we have seen static as well as non-static. Now just remember the characteristics. How to access a non-static variable with the help of non-static with the help of object reference. Yes. Now how to access a static variable?
Sir,
Yes.
just variable is enough, sir.
just by sir writing the
Yeah, just by
name, sir.
variable name. Okay.
Variable
But if
itself enough,
the
sir.
We can access
class
it,
is
sir.
having two same variables, one is static and one is local,
None,
how do you
yes.
access that static variable?
Static
Class
variables
name,
are by
sir.
writing the uh,
Class
directly
name,
name.
sir.
Class name.
Class
Yes.
name dot, sir. Variable, sir.
Yes. Okay, those static variables will be
Yes.
can be accessed by the help of the class name.
Class name
Class
dot
name, yes, sir.
variable.
Yes, guys. Okay. So similarly for non-static also, I've taken the same example, guys. Okay, like how we have seen for static and local. Similarly, we are seeing for non-static
Sir,
and for local. Yes.
sir, the a that is written after dot in the this dot a, sir. That
Uh,
a, sir, is the non-static.
yes. The one
That
which I have written with the help of this keyword becomes the non-static variable,
okay,
and the
sir.
one which I have simply written, that becomes the local one.
Local,
Because in the
local.
local one, I can directly access the local one by its name, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah, that is only the characteristic of local variable. And for the non-static one that is outside this block, how to tell? Because I know that it is that it is a non-static, so it is
Sir,
non-static. So that's why I have used this
sir, if
keyword.
suppose, sir, that in the non-static, if it is written, sir, int b, that means in the place of a, it is written b, then we will write here, sir, this dot b is equal to a.
No, at that time I'll show you. See, at that time I can simply write it like this. If you are telling this is B, right? Then no need of all of this keyword and all of this. Okay, I can simply write it like this. Yes, if the variable names are different, then there is no issue, guys. Okay, but if the variable name is same, at that time I'm going to use the this keyword. Now the one which is with the this keyword becomes the non-static variable, and the one without the this
Local
keyword becomes
variables,
the local variable.
important
So in
concepts.
this, for the constructor, I have the formal arguments as int of b, right? Yes, I should change
Yes.
this also. So over here now I have the formal arguments as a int of a, which is I have just created a variable to store an integer value. Now in the actual arguments I have passed a formal the actual arguments I have passed the actual values, that is also an integer type value. So what will happen is that this value is being passed to this and it is stored over here. Inside this int of a, 20 is stored, right? Now what is this variable, guys?
Local
Yes,
variables, sir.
local one. So if this is the local one, in this statement, where is that 20 stored? Left side or right
On
side?
right
Sir,
side, sir.
right side,
Right
sir.
side.
Right
Right
side,
side.
the
Right side,
local
sir.
one. Yes, so 20 is there on the right side. Now this 20 is getting assigned where? To the
Non-static
On the
left.
right,
Now what is
left
there on
side,
the
Non-static
sir.
left hand
variable
side?
A.
And this is
Yes,
non-static, sir.
non-static. Yes, because it is written with this keyword, so I can tell what now
So that
inside
means
this.
we can tell, sir, local variable become the global variable, na, sir?
We can tell it like that. Okay. So this 20 that was there inside my local variable, I'm transferring that value into the non-static one. How am I doing that? To access
Use
any
this.
non-static variable, what is needed? We know that. What is needed to access any non-static member?
This, sir.
No.
This,
Non-static, guys, non-static. To access any non-static member, what is needed?
sir,
Yes.
this keyword.
Not only this, hey man.
Sir, object
Oh,
reference.
object
Object
creation,
reference.
sir.
Yes.
Okay,
To
sir.
access any non-static variable, object reference is
Object,
needed. Yes.
object
Where is
reference.
that object reference? Object reference is inside this li. So what is the
Hmm.
object reference that is there stored inside li? We will consider it as 0x1. Okay. Like if I'm writing it, li is equals to new of loading. Yes, new of loading. If I'm writing it like this, then what happens, because of this object is getting created, and that block will have a reference that is 0x1 I'll take, and this 0x1 is given in this li. Yes, now with the
Yes,
help
sir.
of this li I can access all the variables, that is li dot a. I'll get the value whatever is there inside that variable. I can call the methods, that is m1. With the help of this object reference I can call any non-static member, right? So same way, when I am doing it inside the, when I am accessing that non-static variable inside this constructor. Now inside this constructor, if I want to access a non-static variable, for that case also what is happening? Yes, for that case also I want to access the non-static variable, right? And to access a non-static variable, the most important thing that is the object reference. So like how I have accessed the non-static members with the help of object reference li, similarly as I'm having two variables with same name, so I'm differentiating the non-static one with the help of this keyword, because this keyword holds the latest object reference. Okay, the object that has been created, the most recent one that has been created, that object reference will be stored inside this keyword. Okay.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
Yes.
sir, for example, in this program, that
Huh.
non-static initialize that first line, sir, int a na,
Huh.
first at first step,
Huh.
sir. If it is like a int b, we have to use
Huh.
int b, sir. Instead
Where
of
we have to
a,
use it.
instead of a, it is like int b. Yeah, there only,
Okay,
sir.
now I can find more in.
Ah,
Then
and if in loading process, no, sir, in this one. That one int a, sir. In the first line, it will be like L1 dot B, sir.
L1 where?
Yeah, you have that cursor, sir. That only. Yeah, this one.
This one
L1 dot
only.
A. Yeah, L1 dot B equal to A, sir. That line will change into for accessing the
God,
B line.
no. Why
No.
we use the L1 here?
L1.
L1. Guys, wait. Actually, whatever I write here, it will go inside the fresh brains that you have now, right? Now, if I show you it on the screen only, that wrong thing will get feeded into your minds. Okay, so I don't
Sir,
want to show it on the screen. I know whatever you are telling is not correct, actually. Okay.
sir, sir,
Huh.
if we use this keyword within a static method, then
Huh.
compiler throw an error, no?
Huh. We cannot use this keyword inside a static block. Okay.
Yeah. Means
Sir,
this keyword is used to non-static member of or
So that
non-parent
means
Yes.
class.
sir, actually, I
this
have doubt, na. Like for accessing to A, na. This is we are using this, sir. But for
Huh.
accessing some different variable, that only I have a doubt, sir.
Okay. I'll after this, once I show you this, what is happening over here, after that
Yes,
I'll
sir.
go for the other example.
Different
Okay.
variables. Okay, sir.
Yes. Okay. So over here now, what is happening is that now you understood what I have written, right? What is
Yes,
this
sir.
statement?
yes,
Yes,
sir.
Just
understood, sir.
what is there on the left side, that is the non-static one, and what is there on the right side, that
Local,
is the local one.
Local
This
local,
variable.
sir.
local one is this one that I have created in the formal arguments, and if there is a formal arguments, I should have a actual arguments inside my calling statement, right? So this
Yes,
is the
sir.
constructor calling inside the object creation only. I'm calling the constructor.
So
So over
now
here
can
only I have passed the actual
sir,
argument.
Pass the
Yes.
different number.
now can I print outside the that constructor this dot a?
Yes, that's what we are going to see. Until now, we were getting right zero only. But once I have used the
Mhm.
this keyword, now we'll see what is happening. Yes.
Sir, I
Yes,
want a
guys.
whole execution, sir. Can
Yes,
you
sure,
do
sure.
this?
Huh. I'll tell it once again, okay?
Yeah. Now it's
Huh.
came 20.
Now it came. Now the value 20 that we wanted from that time, we have got it. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So now that is happening only because of one line. That is this particular statement. Okay. Now
You guys tell me that what doubts you're having in this. Yes. Yes, guys.
yes, guys.
Sir, in this program I got clear, sir.
Yes, in this program now you don't have doubts.
No, sir. No, sir.
Sir, I want execution step by step.
Execution. Yes.
Ah, yeah.
You want the entire execution of this program.
Yeah, means from the value passing, little bit confusion there. That's why.
Okay. So in our last class only, I guess I have given this program only for tracing over.
Yes, sir.
So in that only, just keep on adding today's points. I'll tell you in brief. After that, you have to add the notes by your own. Okay. If you want to record, you can record. Yes. So now, guys, what happened over here is that today what we saw is that we have added our own custom constructor, right? We have added our own constructor that is a parameterized constructor. How am I calling it a parameterized constructor? Because I have a formal arguments which acts like a local variable for this particular block. Yes. Now, if I have a formal arguments, then I must have actual arguments. Okay. Now, the type of formal arguments and actual arguments should be same. So this is integer, this is integer. Okay. Now, you guys are getting confused inside this. What is happening over here, right? So what is happening in this line is that in the left hand side, this keyword, with the help of this keyword, I have accessed the a variable. So this keyword holds the object reference. Like how in this line, L1 is having the object reference now 0x1. Similarly, this keyword is also having 0x1 inside it. Okay, because it is a non-static variable only. Just consider that it is also like a dabba. Like how we have considered these are some containers, right? Similarly, just consider that this is a container which stores what? The currently created object's reference. Okay. Every time you create a object new of loading. Okay. Earlier, what was there inside this keyword? Just a second. Just a second. See, what I'm telling is that
At first, it was like default value, sir.
See, if I write it like this, for pen I'll do, okay, pen p1 is equals to new of pen. Yes. Now because of this, what happened? Yes, because of this statement, what will happen?
Sir, first a block is created in heap area.
In the heap area, okay. Now everything will get loaded and everything will happen because of the constructor, right? So there will be one reference, right? 0x1.
Yes, sir.
This reference will be returned to whom, guys?
New.
Because of this new keyword, it is being returned. So
yes,
this will get stored inside P1.
P1.
So yeah, in the back of your mind, just remember that what is there inside P1. Inside P1 there is 0x1. So this is the object that I have created, right? So there is a keyword that is by the name this. Okay. Now what is the use of this keyword? This keyword holds the currently created object's reference. Holds the object reference of what? The current object that I have created now. It holds the object reference of
Pen
that
type object.
Yes, the current object. Okay. So now what is there inside this?
Yes, sir.
The same value, whatever is stored inside
The same
program,
reference.
The same value is stored. Yes, that same reference is stored. Now, if I change it like this, pen P2 is equals to new of pen. Now what will happen because of this second statement?
0x2 will be loaded in this, sir.
one more object gets created for pen by the reference 0x2. Everything, the constructor gets called and everything gets loaded. Now, where will this 0x2 get returned?
P2.
P2. So, inside P2, what is there?
0x2.
0x2 is there inside P2. Now, which is the current object creation? Which is the
0x2.
latest object that I have created? This second one, right?
Yes, sir.
So the reference of this currently created object will be stored where?
This, sir.
Inside this keyword. Now, what is there inside this keyword?
0x2.
Is 0x2. Earlier, when I didn't create the second object, when I have not created the second object, what was the scene? Is that yes?
This holds the 0x1, sir.
So until the time I created this second object, this was having the object of the first object only. Yes, this was having the object reference of the first object. But once I created the second object also, what happened is that now, which is the currently created object? The fresh one, 0x2. So the fresh object reference will go inside this keyword. So whichever object you create, the latest, okay, the latest ones, the latest reference will be stored inside this keyword every time. Okay, that is how this keyword is used. Okay. Yes, guys. Now someone was telling that what will happen if I use li.a over here. Yes, someone was asking that doubt, right?
Yes, sir.
So how will you use that li over here in this block, man? This
Sir.
li becomes a local variable for this method. Yes.
Sir,
How are you going to?
Sir, no, I'm not saying like that, sir. I'm asking you whether the first line you have initiated a, no, sir, just initialization. Non-static. Yeah, that one. If it is instead of a, it is like a b, sir. Instead of a. That's my doubt,
B.
sir. Yeah.
This is your doubt, no?
Yes,
So
sir.
now what should we do over here? This is your doubt.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
What will be this line become like that, sir? I have
Okay.
doubt.
Now, can I write it like this? B is equals to A. Yes. Tell me that.
Sir, A is correct, sir, but B I have doubt, sir, because it is a non-static.
Okay, you are having this doubt only now. Because it is non-static and without the object reference, it is not possible. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just a second. Somewhere li.a is there. li.a. Where is that li.a, man?
Sir, system SOP, sir.
Where I have printed? Oh, yes, this statement. I'll remove this statement only. Yes. Okay, I've removed it. Just a second. See what is happening. Yes, guys. Now tell. It is not giving me any compile time error.
Yes, sir.
I told you, right? I can simply, if it is any other variable, then it is of no worry. Okay, it's not to worry.
Sir, because the object creation statement is before the loading. Yeah, already created, no? So B value will be already initialized, sir. Is it correct, sir? Okay, so it is
because
not showing in here.
No, why it is not giving me error over here? I'm accessing a non-static variable. From where? From where am I accessing it? From this constructor body. Yes, from this constructor body, I'm accessing a non-static variable. So now this is a non-static member and it is a non-static member. I told you this point that we can access the non-static members from a non-static member without any issue directly by its name. Yes, guys. Have I told you?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
Okay, so what is happening over here is that we can call a non-static member from a non-static member directly by its name. We don't have to create any object also for that. Okay, we can directly call it by its name. Yes. So that is what is happening. But in the case of a static method, yes, this is a static method, right? So if you want to call it from a static method, then the only option that you have is that first of all you have to create an object, and with the help of that object reference only you can call it. Okay. Yes, guys, is it clear?
So can we write instead of this L1 dot A is equal to A?
L1 dot A is equals to 10. What? Where should I write that? Tell.
Instead of this, where you are writing B equal to A, right? Erase it. L1 dot A.
L1 dot A. Okay. L1 dot A
is equal to A. Instead of this, can we use L1?
Okay. Now see, when will this program or whatever I have written inside the constructor, when will this execute?
Once object
Yeah.
creation statement.
Understand. First write will be execute, then.
Yes.
Yeah. Understand,
So,
sir.
Understood. Or should I show?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll show
I
you the.
only clear my doubt.
You got it cleared, right? You understood?
Yes.
So line by
Yes,
line
sir.
execution is happening. So I cannot use
Yes.
this li, because this li is not having the object reference when this constructor body is executing. At that time, that li is not having that object reference also. And one more thing is that this li is a local variable. So how are you going to access it somewhere outside that other block? That's all. Okay. Yes, guys.
So we are printing value of A outside in a main method.
Yes. Just remember that
Yes.
we have created the object reference
L1
inside
dot A,
the
right?
main method. Yes, we have created it inside our main method. So this variable becomes a local variable for the main method. So how do you access that local variable outside the main method? There is no way, guys. Okay, you cannot access a local variable outside that block. Yes. Yes, guys, is that clear? So if there are two variables by the same name, then what should be done?
This
dot A is equals to A. Now the A that is there on the left side represents which one?
Non-static, sir.
Non-static one, that is getting stored inside the object created, and the right side one becomes the local one.
Local.
Yes. Now what is stored inside this keyword?
The
Recent
reference.
current
Reference.
object reference, sir.
Yes.
Reference of
Currently object created.
recent object.
Yes. Okay. Remember, these 2 points are enough. Okay. About this keyword, guys. We will be using this keyword like very often once all of this part 2 is also done. Maybe in this part 2 also. Yes. And we will see designs in that.
Please go with
So-
some small examples. It is very difficult. I mean, I don't know. It's
Yes.
happening with me only. I'm unable to understand anything.
Suheed,
Yeah.
are you talking to us?
Unfortunately.
Sir, why we will create the variable name of same name, sir? That is A, sir.
What I did?
So that we are doing here, that we are generating the variable name of same name, that is A and A, sir. So that we use this keyword.
So
We
that's
can
why
change it
that was
also,
my-
sir.
Yes, obviously, guys. I know many of you now. You guys won't